Hi, it has been a few weeks now that many of us have been quarantined, and it's probably very difficult for a lot of us. I mean, we're all affected in different ways, and this is why I want to make this video, because I think that there are a lot of things in life that we cannot control, and it is when life is tough that it becomes even more important for us to know how to lift ourselves up. So I want to share with you some of how I practice happiness, especially when I feel like life is tough. And I want to thank New Talks Youth Restoring for collaborating with me on this video and this message on not compromising on our happiness. I mean, so many things in life we need to compromise on, but if there's one thing that we should not compromise on, it is our happiness. You know, this is why all my videos end with be happy always. There's not a strategy or this marketing idea to end my videos with be happy always. It just felt right because my objective in life is to be happy always, no matter what happens. And life throws so many challenges at us. You know, I would feel hurt, I would feel angry, I would feel anxious and stressed and upset, and there would be a lot of blame and resentment. And what really helps me is focusing on my objective of being happy. It is my personal reminder of the big picture, and it doesn't mean that my problems will go away, right? Like, my problems are still there. It's just that when I'm able to focus on the fact that my purpose and my goal is to be happy, then I am more willing to calm down, to let go of that frustration, to let go of that anger that I'm feeling. You know, a lot of the times when it comes to letting go, it's not just letting go that's hard. It's also what comes before letting go. A lot of the times we don't want to let go because we think we're right, and we want to hold on to that anger because it feels so good. We want to hold on to that stress because it feels like we're doing something. But anger and stress, these are just emotions. They're not actions. We're not actually doing anything to make ourselves feel better. And it took me a while to actually embrace this and remember this in the heat of the moment. And what really helps is focusing on my objective of being happy always. The other thing that I do when I'm feeling down or blah, I talk to myself like, Xandria, look at your fingers. I have so much appreciation, by the way, for my hands and my fingers and my legs and my feet and my body. I find that it really helps me to acknowledge what I truly am grateful for. And when I actually focus on the fact that I have my fingers and I can do stuff with them, and this is such a gift and this is such a privilege, it makes me reevaluate my stresses or my anxiety, because in the big picture, again, it helps me refocus. And one of the things that really helped me feel better immediately is like an emotional switch, is thinking at least. Like right now with the quarantine, you know, at least I have shelter, at least I have food, at least I have a camera to shoot this video. The other train of thought could be, if only I could go out, if only things are not like this, if only this is not happening. And I think that when we go down the path of if only, it just makes us feel more frustrated. And when I think to myself, at least, it's not like my problems and my circumstance will immediately change, but what I'm doing is that I'm helping myself focus on gratitude instead of focusing on frustration. And a lot of the times in our life, the happiness or the misery or the suffering that we feel has nothing to do with what's happening. It has everything to do with how we process it, how we think about it, and how we feel about it. Another thing that I do when I'm feeling low on energy is to feed myself good vibes. Because if I don't actively and consciously give myself good vibes, I'm just gonna be waiting for other people to give it to me, and I don't know when I'm gonna wait until. So I'm going to take actions, and I always turn on my music, and I'll have a nice blow dry so I feel good about how my hair looks. I'll take care of my skin. You know, I really take my time with my skincare routine. And I feel like now in quarantine, like just to shoot this video, video and me putting on makeup and putting on clothes, real clothes, other than house clothes. So it makes me feel so much better about myself already. In my workshops, when we talk about looking good, feeling good, I always say, there's this special dress or special handbag or the very expensive facial products that you save for that special occasion. Well, there is no more special occasion than on the day you wake up feeling low or feeling bad. That is a special occasion. Go treat yourself, put it on. I mean, these are the little things we can do to just give ourselves some good vibes. So it doesn't matter if it's raining or storming outside, these actions remind me that I can bring my own sunshine with me. And this is why I'm always upbeat and positive, because I consciously make an effort to understand that no one's going to just give me sunshine. And if I stumble upon someone who has great vibes, then fantastic. But what if I don't meet anybody? Especially now during quarantine, we're not seeing anybody. And we have to give ourselves some warmth, some good vibes, some sunshine. I mean, in life, there's really so many things we cannot control. And these small little actions that remind us that we can take our power back. And obviously, as human beings, there will be days where we feel extremely, extremely down. And when I feel that way, when I feel annoyed, irritated, and maybe even really sad or depressed, what I personally do is I accept these emotions. There are no bad emotions. We're human, and it's part of being human to feel happy and sad and down and elated and disappointed and jealousy and guilt and anger. It's part of what it means to be human. We experience a range of emotions. And before we can even decide what we want to do with these emotions, we have to be able to accept them and not treat it like an enemy, I feel so bad for feeling bad. And this really helps me because I don't beat myself up for how I'm feeling right now, and I want to lean into it. I want to acknowledge how I'm feeling. To deny our negative feelings is to deny our humanity, and I don't want to do that. I really appreciate being alive, and this comes as a package of being alive. It's like wanting to buy a car, and then the car has battery issues or flat tire. It's part and parcel of having a car, of enjoying a car. And it's the same thing with life. Our problems and our challenges and our negative emotions, they're part of being alive. So I don't want to reject them. Now, the only reason we call negative emotions negative is because they're undesirable. It's not that they're bad emotions. It's just that we don't want them because they're not useful, they're not motivating or uplifting. And I think that before we even let go of anything, we have to not resent that emotion so much. And I find that giving acceptance to myself is one of the greatest acts of self-love, because I know that there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me feeling this way. I'm human, and I have to give kindness and compassion to myself. And it's okay. It's okay to feel like it's hard to get out of bed sometimes. It's fine. If I don't judge myself, I think that's already feeling better, at least for me. And I think what also really helps me is this phrase, life is either a celebration or a lesson. My book has this phrase. It starts with it because understanding that life is either a celebration or a lesson completely changes my perspective towards whatever it is that I'm going through. When life is going well and it's smooth, then it's a celebration. And when life is tough and when life isn't going the way I envision it to go, I want to remember that there is a lesson in here somewhere. It's like when I'm disagreeing with Yuri and it's an argument and it's so painful and I feel myself getting so angry and so frustrated. Just remembering that life is either a celebration or a lesson reminds me that when things are going well in my relationship and everything's smooth and we're so happy together, it's a celebration. And when things are difficult and we're not happy with each other and we need to talk things out, there is a lesson in there somewhere, you know. I can learn to understand myself better in that conversation, and it's an opportunity to understand him better. And it's also for us to learn how to communicate with each other. So I start to see things as an opportunity. Every situation that brings about anger or frustration, I begin to see as an opportunity for me to grow. I always tell myself, you know, Xandria, how are you going to grow and be a better person if everything in life is super smooth? Then you don't learn anything about yourself. It is through challenges that we learn the most and we grow the most. So life is either a celebration or a lesson. For me, it's such a great reminder that when I'm going through something difficult, instead of feeling frustrated and upset that it's happening, I go, wow, this is painful. This is uncomfortable. This means that there is something there for me to learn, and what an opportunity. Because regardless of what's going on, regardless of how people treat me, I'm learning something about myself, about the person, about the world, about my own emotions. So either way, I win. When things are going well, it's a celebration. I win. When things are not going well, I'm learning something. I win. So either way, in life, I win. And with what's happening right now around the world with this crisis, it's never more important to remember the power that we have over our own lives. So the way I practice happiness is focusing on my objective, which is to be happy always. Remembering to focus on what I do have and what's right instead of what I don't have and what's wrong. And I do that with at least versus if only. And I feed myself good vibes. And the fourth thing is that I practice acceptance towards myself, especially when I'm not feeling good about myself. And the last thing is life is either a celebration or a lesson. Everything here is a reminder and is some kind of action, whether it's a mental action or a physical action. I have to remind myself all the time. I repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is why happiness is a practice. Happiness is not just an emotion and how we feel. It is what we do. It is our perspective. It is the skill that we cultivate with the practice. And it used to be not so easy for me, but with practice, I find over the last few years is all these practices have become a habit. I don't have to consciously try to do them so much anymore. So now when a problem comes up or when I'm facing something difficult, this is how I automatically would respond. And I never used to be able to be like that. So if I can do this, you definitely can. So I hope that this video has been useful somewhat. I hope that we can all lift ourselves up and support each other during this very difficult time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again. And of course, be happy always. Bye!